All the other heathens don't have a God. That's why they can go to war. That's why they can do whatever the hell they want to do, because they're not of the Lord's people. But we, blacks and Latinos and indigenous, we belong to the Most High.
They've been lying to you.
Let me ask you this like this. Do you think black people actually are African in your mind? Do you think they're African?
I mean, yeah, because my understanding from what I've learned about history and whatnot is that you had the Native Americans who were already here, and then you had the Europeans who came and took over the land, and then you had the slave ships that black people came on that the Europeans forced them on and whatnot. So I'm just confused on where does that fit into it?
Right.
Because
Deuteronomy 28:68. Let's start there. So I'm going to show you Deuteronomy 28:68, right? So I'm going to show you something. For one, what America has to understand, the elite white people, the ones that control everything, they know who black people are. The rest of us were taught that black people, because they came out of Africa, must be African. But that's not true. That never was true. In fact, the whole planet Earth at one time was people of color. Specifically when it came to the children of Israel, these brothers here, none of us are African descent. We was taught that. So a lot of us believe that because we're looking at the features, we see the woolly hair that they have, and assuming that because of some similarities within the feature make us African, but that is not true. What happened was slavery happened. And slavery happened because of disobedience. Remember I told you that we disobeyed the Lord? I'm going to show you something here. Read.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Once upon a time, we were the slaves of Egypt. We made Egypt a superpower during the days of Moses. You can find all that history in the book of Exodus. But what happened was that the Lord wanted us to go serve him. And since Pharaoh didn't want us to go serve the Lord moved on him and ended up destroying that empire. You got Moses and Aaron to get us out of the land. The Lord was warning us through Moses that if we did not keep his law, statutes, and commandments. As a matter of fact, read that the same chapter, 28:1. Read.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Right. So that's all that blacks and Latinos and indigenous, namely the children of Israel, which we are, that's what we were told to do. Follow his laws, statutes, and commandments. Not just hear them, not just learn them, but actually apply them in your life. Do them. Keep them. Now go to verse 15. Here's what happened though. Verse 15.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Right, so now, if thou would not hearken, meaning if we did not listen. Go ahead. Come on. 15, come on.
Listen. Hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments.
Right, so to observe and to do all his commandments. Not how we living today in America. Not deciding which law that we should keep or whatever. But through Moses, the Lord told us that we were to keep all his commandments. And he's given us a fair warning here. He gave us a fair warning here, verse 15, that if we didn't do those things.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
Right, that was an order. That was an order given to the children of Israel, blacks and Latinos and indigenous. Go ahead.
That all these curses shall come upon thee.
What is a curse according to the Bible? A punishment. Let me give you some example. What is a punishment from the Most High? Being born blind, being born disabled, being born a crack baby. being born into slavery, being oppressed in America. Those are some of the curses. I can go on and on. I'm just giving you quick examples of being cursed in America. Not having a military, not having a language or a culture, not having our own land.
Right.
That's a curse. That's a punishment. Now drop down to verse 28 and 68.
28 or 60?
Verse 68, you're going to get it. So, since we didn't listen, since we were hard-headed children, since we decided to do our own thing, not realizing that we're the only nation or the only race that needs the Most High for us to function. We need the Most High. We were designed that way. All the other heathens don't have a God. That's why they can go to war. That's why they can do whatever the hell they want to do, because they're not of the Lord's people. But we, blacks and Latinos and indigenous, we belong to the Most High. We're supposed to do what he told us to do. Yet and still, we didn't do that. Read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Stop right there. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Egypt comes from the word Egyptos, which is a Greek word which means bondage. But it said again, meaning a second time. That second time was going to be in cargo slave ships. Right. And there are historical records proving these things, that when they went into Africa, after they took over the population in the United States, but before it was called the United States, the indigenous lands of my forefathers, right, put us into slavery. Some of us were taken into Cordoba and Sevilla, Spain, out of the Caribbean in slave ships. Then when they almost decimated us, they brought our brothers and sisters who left the 70 AD destruction of Jerusalem. Over 2 million black Israelites ran into Africa trying to run away from white Roman rulership. Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee,
Come on.
thou shalt see it no more again.
And as a nation, as a people, we will not see our homeland. But instead, who's over there? Fake people who claim to be Jews but are not. Revelation 2 and 9, you don't have to go there. And these Palestinians who are not the people of the land.
Right.
That's that. And as a people, blacks and Latinos and indigenous, that's our motherland, not goddamn Africa. Read.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Right there. There meaning where? The place of your captivity. Here on auction blocks. We were sold not to our friends or to somebody we was cool with, but the Most High said to our enemies. So the white man is our enemy.
That's right.
That's what God is saying.
That's right.
He's our enemy. And we were sold on these auction blocks. Now listen, did that stop? No. You know why? Because now it's called a prison complex, private prison complex. Who's the most fit in those private prison complex, making the white people happy? Blacks and Latinos. They cheering on Trump. They cheering on his cabinet. They so happy that they're locking up all the Latinos, all the Jamaicans, all the West Indians, God's chosen people. You know what I'm saying? We still in captivity, black people. We still in captivity, Latinos and First Nations. This was part of us being punished because we decided to be disobedient. No, we're not Africans. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you in the Bible. Go to Revelation now. The greatest black man to walk the face of the earth that everybody every year doesn't even give a damn about. Everybody every year disrespects. Revelation chapter 1. Right? That's what I want you to go. Book of Revelations. Chapter 1. All right? Nobody cares about the greatest man that walked, the greatest black man. Let me not say the greatest man, but the greatest black man to walk the face of the earth. Not even black people recognize it, but we're about to show you something right here. Revelations 1 and 1. Read that first line.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. The revelations of Jesus Christ.
Stop right there. What does the word revelation mean?
A revelation, I'm thinking like a finding out or reveal.
Finding out or reveal. That's good. That's good. I'll take that. Finding out or revealing something that was hidden. What was hidden? Well, the brother was talking about this guy right here. This guy right here actually existed. I know he's in all the churches. You go to Brazil, they got a big cross of him. You go to the cemeteries, they got crosses of him. You go to all these places, they got a cross with him on the cross. This is not Jesus Christ. This guy, his name was Cesar Borgia, the second son of Pope Alexander VI. You might have known him by Rodrigo Borgia. I don't know if you remember, there was a series called The Borgias. Matter of fact, what's that name? Assassin's Creed. They had one of the games that had the Borgias in it. He was the lover to Leonardo da Vinci. He also had sex with his sister and his father. He had his older brother murdered, Giovanni. But this is the guy that everyone bows down to, everybody goes and prays to, lights candle to, and now we see why there's all this degeneracy on the face of the earth. Because instead of sticking with what the records say, white people during the Renaissance decided to put an image throughout the face of the earth, and now that's what we have today, a society that's reckless called the United States of America. A society that's built off of thievery, off of murder, of lies and blood. Like, we're walking damn near literally on the bones of our family members right here, the Native American Indians. Nobody talks about them.
About the Native Americans, how do they...
Just 1 second, hold that question, and I'm gonna come back to you, right? So now drop down to verse 13.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
Wow, that's important to know. It says in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, these were 7 schools that Paul established, that the Most High put people, some leaders over there during the time, but Paul had established this. In the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man. That's important. Why? Because of religion, we think that God broke his rules and had impregnated Mary just to have Jesus. That's a false. That never happened. Joseph and Mary actually went to bed, pop, 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 boom, boom. Popped out Jesus 9 to 10 months later. That's what really happened, and it's in the records. But because of religion, everybody thinks that, he's immaculately conceived. That didn't happen that way.
Right.
You're a son of man, I'm a son of man, he's a son of man. See where I'm going with it? Keep going.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
Now you see this brother here. Where's Yaraj? Come on, step right up here. Step right up here. Christ was dressed or clothed with a garment that reached down to his foot, similar to this. Read.
Down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
Meaning what? That around his waist he had a war belt, but it was made of gold. Read.
Verse 13. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
His head and his hairs were white like wool. Does this image is it a man with woolly white hair? No, right? What people have woolly hair?
Typically like Middle Eastern, African.
Are you Middle Eastern have woolly hair? I mean, look around. Does he have woolly hair? This brother right in green.
Green.
Yeah, right here, right there. Look at his head. Does that not look like woolly hair? Yeah, there you go, right? Black people have woolly hair. That's right. And it's showing you what Christ really looked like. That's important. You know why? Because how you gonna talk about a person not knowing what they look like? But because of religion, it don't matter. He had no color. Really? Have you ever seen a person without color on the earth? No. That's funny, right? But that's how we look at it too. It's silly and dumb to even think that. But that's what they teach you in church. Read. Right.
As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
And even on his face, he had a beard like mine, woolly and white. And Christ had a white afro. That's what it's telling you, woolly hair. Read that. Read it again.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Because one thing, Christ liked to drink some wine. Okay? When he was walking the earth, he liked to have his wine. Of course, he also did it during the times he had to do for like Passover and stuff like that. But he liked to drink wine with his brothers. You might have heard of it when he said he's not going to have another, I'm paraphrasing, any more wine until he returns. Christ liked his wine. Of course, his eyes was red like a flame of fire. Read.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
Okay, now, here we go. And his feet like unto fine brass. Brass is a derivative color of what color? Brass is a derivative color of what color? There you go. Give the man a hand. Give the man a hand. So you see what we're doing right here? We're actually showing you that this is contrary to what's in the record. This is a bunch of BS. This is actual. And it's important that black people know this. You know why? Because it gives us a self-identity. An identity that has been lost for centuries, especially up under this empire. Like, they don't allow us to have our own heroes. unless it's Michael Jordan, unless it's some well-known drug dealer, like for real, right? We have to have El Chapo as somebody to look up to. Like that, no, we don't need that. What we need is a man like Jesus Christ who gave a damn about his people so much. He went up on the cross paying a punishment that we as the nation should have paid for. That's important.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're one